New information about the EV tax credit coming out just today. Let's get right into it. So one of the biggest concerns about this Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, that act that would give you $7,500 on a qualifying Tesla purchase, well, one of the concerns was that being removed. But it does look like, as of just this morning, this is breaking news, that the EV tax credit limits, those new requirements, are cleared to stay in the Democrats' package. A lot of misinformation, and understandably so. This is a 2,100-page act, so it's a lot to comb over. But there's been some talks about union bonuses, about retroactiveness. We're going to talk about that. But first, take a look at this. Automakers ditch last-minute efforts in changing this bill. So it does look like, again, the Democrats have the votes in the Senate for this to pass. It does look like there will be no changes. But some of those big questions: will this be retroactive? So retroactive means if you already took delivery, or if you're planning on soon taking delivery, will you get the $7,500 credit? And the short answer is no. If you have an order, or if you're thinking about placing an order, you can order a Tesla right now, but you have to take delivery in 2023 to get this qualifying credit. But what's different from the previous $7,500 credit to now? Well, there is a lot of changes, and first I want to talk about the batteries. Not a lot of YouTube channels are talking about this. To get the latest changes and when this passes, to get that result, make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss it. The vote is coming soon. But the batteries. So there's been a lot of commotion about the foreign entities of concern. Well, what does that mean? There's a requirement that the batteries must have the batteries and critical minerals processed from China do not qualify for this credit. Now, what Tesla does that affect? That affects the Model 3 rear-wheel drive, which has a battery produced in China. So essentially, it does not fall under the requirements. Again, the rear-wheel drive does not qualify for this credit because the components of that battery are made overseas. Remember, at the beginning of the video, we talked about credit limits cleared to stay. Well, what are the new credit limits? This is different than the former bill. So listen to this. It is now $55,000 for sedans and $80,000 for SUVs, which would include the Model Y. So if you're getting a Tesla, if that base price is below $55,000, let's say for the Model 3, because that's a sedan, it would qualify. However, remember, the rear-wheel drive doesn't qualify based on the battery. And then under $80,000, which is every Model Y, performance and long range, if it's under that price, the Model Y also qualifies. Another really important change: now Tesla does qualify for this EV tax credit. So you would qualify because it actually lifts the 200,000 vehicle cap. So if a manufacturer like Tesla and Toyota, for example, they reached this limit last year, they dropped off of any kind of credit. Well, now it lifts that 200,000 vehicle mark, because obviously Tesla has sold many more vehicles. So now Tesla qualifies because of this change in the Inflation Reduction Act. Some Teslas qualify for the EV tax credit, and that's great, but there's been some debate on when you actually get this credit. I have seen some language about you have to purchase from a dealership. Well, Tesla doesn't have dealerships, so how do you get this credit? Long story short, if you buy a car from Tesla, you will get it at the point of sale. So that's when you actually take delivery. There's been some confusion on, well, if I'm going to order right now, if I take delivery, let's say in November, will I get it? Well, the answer is no. Like we spoke about earlier in the video, the only time that transaction is complete is when you actually pay for the balance, and that has to be in 2023. But listen to this.
The prices are trending down in 6 months. 6 months from now. Now, this could change, obviously, but the trend is down, which suggests that we are past peak inflation. My guess is that we are past peak inflation, and that we will have a recession. I think it will be a relatively mild recession, sort of. But I'm just guessing here. This is total speculation. But I would guess it's a mild recession for, I don't know, 18 months or something like that. It would be my best guess right now. And I think inflation is going to drop rapidly. That's my guess. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Tesla vehicle prices. What will the EV tax credit do to Tesla car prices? Will it cause Tesla to increase prices because now their consumers are getting an extra discount, if you will, of $7,500? Or will prices go down? That was last week's shareholder meeting, and Elon talking about the price of materials and components that make up their batteries and their cars. And he is expecting, and he said on Twitter, that inflation or the cost of goods go down. He actually said, again on the shareholders call, he expects a recession, a mild recession for about 18 months, but then very, very quickly a sharp decline in inflation. And again, he took to Twitter and said if inflation goes down, so will the price of his vehicles. So here's my thoughts. There's no guarantee on this, but I expect over the next 1 to 2 or 3 months, by the end of the year, we will see a price decrease of no more than $3,000 across the line of vehicles. And I say that because he does seem to say or imply that the worst of it is behind us and that inflation will sharply decline. And he said that the cost of goods for Tesla are going down. Now, what if they take this opportunity to raise prices? You're getting extra money for your purchase. Well, it's a good time for Tesla to increase their price and make more money, right? I think that move would be a really bad look for Tesla and honestly any dealership. That's the old school way of doing it, legacy auto. Just look at the F-150 Lightning with massive markups. It looks like a greedy move, and don't put it past Tesla. They want to make money with the highest margins they've ever had currently happening. But all in all, I think with their goal to promote sustainability, that's what they said on the shareholders meeting. My prediction of what's going to happen is prices will go down and we will see a favorable outcome of that Inflation Reduction Act vote. Still thinking about a Tesla? Make sure to subscribe because this vote is massive. Are you going to get $7,500? Well, it's looking pretty good, but to make sure you get that answer, make sure to subscribe. The only way I know you like these videos is, of course, to drop a like and consider subscribing. This is Matt from Frunk to Trunk. We will see you in the next video.